Hi everyone, very good morning. So today we are going to cover SOQL queries, and in SOQL queries we will start with very basic and then we will go into the advanced. So I have created this small PPT. I hope you guys are able to see.
Yes, Mohit.
Perfect. So, see, SOQL queries are very important from the interview point of view as well. I first gave Salesforce interview around 2018, and that interview was full of SOQL queries. They asked me to write so many SOQL queries, simple queries, and then complex queries. Okay. And in interviews, we sometimes directly get SOQL queries interview question like write a SOQL query to find all the accounts where there is no contact. Okay, so we have to have a very good understanding of fundamentals on SOQL query. We need to understand that from day one, we will not be able to write the advanced SOQL query. Okay, we will have to have some basics. We will have to practice on basics, couple of fundamental queries, and then once we understand the relationship between object and once we know how we navigate through those objects, then only we will be able to write advanced query. Okay, so if you are a beginner, if you are somebody who feels that how will I write the complex queries, for now don't worry about complex queries. Start with basic queries, start with normal relationship queries, starts with normal queries, and then build on top of that. Don't try to practice hard queries at once. See, what I want is that logic should come from your mind, not from the solutions you see directly on your screen or on the wherever questions you're trying to attempt. Okay, so it is very important that we have a good fundamentals on SQL queries, because this is not going to get, not only going to help us in this topic, but also in triggers, lightning web component, wherever you go, whatever you do, SQL queries are going to be with you in Apex. Okay, because we will always be interacting with the database. We will always be fetching some data from the backend. Okay, so sometimes we get directly questions on SOQL query to write a SOQL query. Sometimes we get different questions which requires us to do SOQL queries. Okay, so in both the cases, these are the whole and soul of Apex programming. Okay, sometimes we get theoretical questions like the difference between SOQL and SOSL. Can we have a results of two different object in a single SOQL query? And can we search multiple fields of different object in one SOQL query? So different types of questions will be there. We will first go through some fundamentals and then we will go and do some practice. Okay, and later on maybe we will discuss the interview questions as well. So I feel that this will take 2 sessions. We will complete the theoretical part, we will complete the practical part today, and we will have a session tomorrow, not tomorrow, maybe on Monday, to do the interview questions on SQL query. Okay. All right, to structure this, I used this PPT last year as well, and I'm going to use the same this year as well. There are a couple of definition things, but in um, you can say practically SOQL query requires two clauses. One is select clause and other one is from clause. Okay, select clause basically tells you that what you want to fetch from, and from clause tells you from which table you want to fetch from. And there is an additional where clause. If you want to additionally have some conditions, then you can use the where clause. So if you see this example, select ID comma name from account where created date equals to today. What I'm trying to say is that I want to fetch the name and table from the account table. Okay, ID and name from the account table, and I want to fetch all such accounts which were created today. Okay, so this is the basic structure of a SOQL query. Okay, select statement or select clause and from clause are mandatory in SOQL query. Without that, you will not be able to build SOQL query. Whereas where clause is an additional or optional clause depending on need. Depending on your need, you either want to use it or don't want to use it. Okay, this is the basic structure of SOQL query. Now, there are various relationship queries as well, like parent to child queries and child to parent query. One thing we always need to remember is that whenever we do navigation through relationship queries, there should have a relationship between those objects. Like we will not be able to fetch something without having a relationship between objects. So if I want to fetch all the accounts all the context associated with an account, then we need to find what is the relationship between an account and contact and which field or how they are connected with each other. Once we identify how they are connected with each other, then we will be able to find who is parent, who is child, and then we will be able to find either we can do from parent to child query or from child to parent query. Okay, we will show it. I mean, I will show you right after this. But first, you need to understand that relationship queries will only work when there is a relationship between two objects which we are talking about. Okay. Now, when we talk about relationship queries, there are two types of relation. One is parent to child and one is child to parent query. Parent to child means, let's say I want to fetch all the contacts associated with an account. Okay. So in that case, I'll have to fetch contacts from account, that will be parent to child. When I want to fetch accounts field from contact table, then that will be child to parent relationship query. Okay. And let us first explore how these works and then we will talk about other things. Okay. So let me stop this and let me share the Salesforce screen. Okay. Second. Sorry, I'm back in. Confusing. Okay, I muted you, Pooja. Sorry. Okay, let me share my Salesforce screen. Where it is? Okay. So this is my Salesforce screen. Let me open the developer console and let me also see if you have data or not. So we will first quickly check if we have data or not. Okay. Or which object is select ID from account. Let's say I just want to see ID from account. And if I query, I have 18 accounts. Let me search contact. I have 25 contact. Let me see opportunity. I have 34 opportunity. Perfect. So we will be able to use this. See, I can also use the inspector, but I want to use the traditional uh, way to do this. People can use inspector. Inspector is better to do SOQL queries because it will auto fetch the field name, it will auto fetch the API name. But let's say if you're not allowed to use any extensions and all in your company, so in that case, you will have to either use this or you will have to use VS Code. Let's try to use the inbuilt tool available. Okay, so select ID, comma name from account. Okay, simple. I just want to fetch the name and account from the name and ID from the account. I'm able to find. If I, let's say, have to find any other field, what are the other fields on account? Website?
Active.
Yeah, is active.
Yes.
No, it is active or what?
Active only.
Let's write billing city. Okay. So depending on what we want to fetch, we will query. See, in a real project, whenever you work, whenever you write SOQL query, always remember just fetch the fields which you require to be used in your code. Do not fetch all the fields in SOQL query because whatever you fetch in your SOQL query will be stored in a variable that will take heap size, that will take memory in the backend. Okay, so do not unnecessarily put the field name in your query if those are not required. Also, if you will not query that particular field in a SOQL query, and if you try to use somewhere else in your code, that will also give you error that you're trying to fetch a field which has not been queried. So always remember, if you are going to use a field, you will have to include that field in a SOQL query. If you will not do that, you will get an error. Also, do not unnecessarily put extra fields on your SOQL queries. Okay. That is a simple query. Now, if let's say if I'm querying on contact, first name, last name from contact. Okay. So I will be able to get it. Now, if I want to fetch accounts related field, so how contact and accounts are connected with each other, let us see. I will go to contact. I will go to contact and we will explore the fields of contact. So account name is a lookup field on contact. Okay. Account name is the lookup field on the contact. So with this field, we are able to search with this field, we are able to connect contacts with accounts. So let's say if I search the account ID, this is how we will be able to get the account. Now we are still in the account. We are still in the contact table. We did not fetch any field of account. It's just the account ID we have fetched. And this is the account we have in this contact. Now, if I want to fetch the account field, how are I going to do that? I have to use the dot notation, and with dot notation, we will be able to traverse to account table. And here I can fetch any of the account field. Let's say if I want to fetch the account name. So it will go to this account first, like in the backend, it will go to this particular account and then it will go to this table and will fetch the account name from it. This is what we are doing. We are doing from a child to parent relationship query, and it will be able to fetch accounts name as well. So we have used dot notation. We use this dot notation to fetch a parent from a child. We are in the contact table and we try to fetch the value from the account table with the help of dot notation. This account ID is very much important. If account ID is not there, then obviously this will be blank. So if there is a contact which does not have any account, in that case, this obviously value will be blank. So I can fetch other fields as well. Let's say account dot billing city. So it will be able to fetch whatever we want to fetch here. So this is, we have tried to find a parent from the child object. Now we will try the opposite. We will try to find the child from the parent. Okay, so in that case, let us write a query on account. Now, how account and contact are associated? Contact is the child and contact has a lookup to account. Okay, so on account, there will be no field as contact because account is parent. Contacts will come in the related list of account. Okay, account can have multiple contacts because account is the parent. Now, to find the child, what we can do, we'll have to write the subqueries here. Select ID, comma, first name, comma, last name from contact. Now, on the contact, you can see that this is a lookup field and there is a field called child relationship name. Whenever you write subquery, you will have to use this name, child relationship name, in the subquery instead of the object name, to fetch the child object from the parent. Okay, so let me try to execute this and see the result. And you can see that you will be able to get the list of contacts. So an account can have multiple contacts. So here you will be able to see that few accounts have multiple contacts, like this one. This has more than one contact. This has more than one contact. So depending on how many contacts a particular account has, it will be able to display them as a list. You can see this is a list. Sorry. Now, similarly, you can also fetch other child objects as well. Like opportunity is also the child of account. So I can fetch that as well. Select ID, comma name, opportunity, and I will try to. Now we will get an error because this is not the child name. This is not the child relationship name. So in order to find that, let us go to opportunity and see how opportunity and accounts are connected. Okay. Obviously it is opportunities, but I just want to show you because in that case, you will not get confused later on when you do it for the custom objects. Okay. So account name is the lookup, and then this is the child relationship name. So we will have to write child relationship name here. Okay, let me execute this. And now you can see that you will be able to find the opportunities as well. Opportunities are also list because an account can have multiple opportunities. Account is parent and opportunities are child. Okay. All right. That's child to parent and parent to child relationship, guys. Just give me a second and I'll be back. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'm back, guys. Okay, anyone has any doubt in this parent to child, child to parent thing?
For custom object, what will be the relationship name, Mohit?
See, for custom objects, let's say if I try to see, we have a couple of custom objects like position, job application, right? So let me check that. So if I go to job application, job application is a custom object and candidate is the master DL. Okay, so candidate is the parent of it. Okay, so in that case, you can see that this is the child relationship name. If you query on the candidate, and try to fetch all the job applications, then you will have to use this child relationship name. Okay, so that's how you will be able to find. See, logic is simple. You will go to the child object and you will try to see the lookup to the parent or lookup or master detail, whatever object it is, and there you will be able to find the child relationship names. Similarly, you went to contacts and try to find how contacts and account are associated. You clicked on that field, which is a lookup to account, and then you will be able to find the child relationship name. That's how you will be able to find the child relationship name, and then you are going to use this in the subquery. Okay, so this will be used in the subquery. Hi Manjunath, go ahead.
Hi, morning. I had one question from with some interviewers. In the select query, the basic select query, whatever we have the format, which will execute the first? Which class will execute the first?
Sorry, I did not get the question. Can you repeat again?
We have the select query, right? Select ID, comma name from account where. Okay. The execution of this SOQL, how does it start? Which one will execute first?
That you mean ID will fetch first, then name or how, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I think it will be fetched in an order, but I don't think it executes in a way that it will first fetch ID and then fetch name and then fetch other fields. I think it does in.
I found this answer in SOQL class somewhere. When I researched, the first it is going to pick from. It is going to pick the from first, from class. Then it will go accordingly select or where.
Yeah.
This is an interview question. That's what.
Correct. In order to find which table to find the data from is, let's say if you have written select ID comma name from account where. See, where is an optional thing where it will apply in the later to filter out the data. But From clause is something which will we use to identify from which table we will have to do this query. So I think that will be the first part to execute, because by that we will be able to find which table we need to refer. And then we will see, okay, what fields we need to refer. Then we will see, okay, account and name we need to refer. And then we will see if there is a where clause, then we need to see which filter data we will be displaying, like where name is equals to test, then it will only fetch the rows where the name is equals to test. So obviously where clause is something which will be executed first to know that which table to refer to, and it is logical, right? But what I want to understand is that if within that, let's say we have fetched the 10 fields, then is there any order it preserves it for those 10 fields as well, like ID, name, first name, billing city, billing address? Is there any order? I think that this will fetched in
No,
a
no, that is not a.
manner. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, obviously it will have to first identify which table to refer, right? Otherwise it will refer the whole. And that is not the case in the SOSL, because in that case it will fetch from the multiple objects, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this is parent to child, child to parent. I know there were few students who were saying that parent to child and child to parent is bit confusing, and I understand for new people this might be bit confusing, but trust me, when you practice on couple of objects, not only standard objects but also custom objects, then you will be able to understand this. This is not a difficult thing. It's just that sometimes when we are new, we feel that this is next level. Or when we were doing all the SOQL queries on single object, it was fine. When we mix couple of objects in the picture, then it becomes a bit difficult. But it is not difficult. Just try to practice couple of child to parent and parent to child queries, and you will be able to find everything. So no need to be worried about this. This is easy. Okay. And you also need to understand that this is a process. With process, you will be able to learn. So it's not like you will be able to build the hardest query possible in the first day. You might not be able to understand the logic itself in your mind. If I ask a new people how to fetch all the accounts where there is no contact, they will not be able to build query for that. But that is completely okay. You will have to break that part into couple of pieces. Like let's say you will have to find all the contacts, all the accounts which does not have any contact. So you need to understand, okay, I'm not able to find the answer, that is fine, but let's start this where let's see up to which point I'm able to reach. Okay, so we need to find account, so query will be on account. We need to find, let's say, account name and account ID. Select ID from account. Now where there is no contact, how will I write the logic to find accounts where there is no contact? Sometimes you will have to talk to yourself. Sometimes you will have to figure out within yourself that what could be the ways. Those ways might be wrong, but when you talk to yourself, when you debug within yourself, then you will be able to find ways. Okay, and we will talk about complex queries as well, don't worry. Stay with me. We have covered only parent to child and child to parent. Okay, now we will see the where clause in action. Till now we did not see where clause in action. Yeah, they asked this query. When I gave Salesforce interview, they asked this query. Find all the contacts where there is no account. Okay, so in the logic on that is in the where clause itself, we need to write a subquery. So we will cover that. Okay, and because it is tricky, new person obviously will not be able to write that, because they have never seen a SOQL query where in the where clause also there is a query. Okay, so I understand and I'm with you. I myself was not able to write in the first attempt, but the interviewer helped me. So it's okay. Okay, so till now we have seen just the basic part, select and from. We did not see the where class. Now we will see where class in action. Okay, so let me again come back to the fundamental query. Select ID, comma name from account and search it. Now I want to find all the accounts whose me also see the billing city. And I want to find all the accounts where billing city is not blank. Okay, so for that, we'll have to write a where clause. Okay, where billing city not equals to blank, something like that. Okay, let me try to execute this. So now, earlier we were getting 18 accounts, but there were a couple of accounts where billing city was blank. Now we have written a where clause where we are saying that billing city should not be blank. And now when we did that, we filtered out all the accounts where billing city was blank. So that's how we can use the where clause to filter out the data. And you will be using where clause a lot. Like in the practical scenarios, there will not be direct SOQL query. There will always be where clause, because in a direct SOQL query, if you write select ID, comma name from account, it might fetch more than 50,000 accounts. It might fetch millions of account, and then you will have limit on SOQL queries, right? So you will always try to limit the data. You will only get the data which is required on a certain piece of code. You will not fetch all the data. So you can also combine multiple things. Okay, like uh billing city and you can write the and or and everything. Okay, let me find the billing city and shipping or mailing. What is the API name, guys? Shipping city. Okay, so I want to fetch where billing city is not blank, or let's say find, and shipping city is also not blank. Currently we are getting an account where billing city is not blank, but obviously shipping city is blank because on the shipping city we do not have any filter. So let's say we also put a filter on shipping city. Shipping city should also not be blank. Okay, so if I query this, then we will only be able to get two records, because there are only two records where billing city and shipping city both are available. Okay, now if I want to put it as or, either billing city is not blank or shipping city is not blank, at least one of them should be there, then in that case we will be able to get more data. Okay, so that's how we can use and or as well. Okay, and these are very helpful in the real SOQL queries. If you will see any org, you will see a lot of queries where so many where clause, and you can add multiple things as well. Okay, so this is very basic. Okay, now let me again share the PPT screen.
Mohit, Mohit, one doubt here.
Yeah,
I
go.
mean, not doubt actually, one suggestions. Let's
Mhm.
say for the billing city, shipping city, that is a standard field, it is fine. Like, let's say if we have a 200 fields and we need to be find out the API name. So is there any shortcut here, like to be get a field API name,
See,
like a Salesforce
this,
inspector something?
this API, this particular query editor is very, you can say, not helpful in this case. Either you go back to
Okay.
object manager and find it, or you use the inspector is very helpful in the query.
Hmm.
I know most of the people use the Salesforce inspector. If I do the same thing here, select ID from, and then it will obviously it start
Huh.
giving me suggestions. Okay, so in that case we need not to be worried. If I want to find the, let's say, shipping, I just write shipping and it will give me all the suggestions in the bottom. So we will be able to write shipping city. We need not to even write the complete API name, and it will
Okay.
start giving me suggestions. So we can use this to avoid a lot of hard work going back to object manager and finding the API name. Not only the standard field, but also for the custom field, it will be able to give you suggestions. Okay.
No,
So
I think like we have options in this inspector. I mean, maybe like it is a wrong or false. I'll tell you. Uh,
this is the older version to be very
no,
frank.
no, you can go to the developer console again.
Uh-huh.
यहाँ पे आप फाइल में जाएंगे ना, ओपन रिसोर्स करेंगे ना,
Mm-hmm.
सिलेक्ट द अकाउंट,
Mm-hmm.
अकाउंट ऑब्जेक्ट पे सिलेक्ट करके ओपन करिए. So here you will get the options, list of options, and you can select the whatever column you want to be select, and you
Mm.
can just
And then you
query
can
it.
query it. Yeah, yeah.
हाँ, तो ये
That
सब आ जाएगा.
that is right. We can also do that. It is also available. What I'm trying to say is that in this query editor, you will not get any help. So you will have to
हाँ.
either find it or you will have to go and build the SOQL queries from here. So that is why most of the time I also use the Salesforce inspector whenever I'll have to do the query. Okay.
हम्म.
Why I'm showing it here in the query editor rather than inspector is because first everybody will not have inspector and I don't want them to explore a new tool when they are beginning. Okay, so that is why this is available with everybody and we are covering very basic, so it's okay to even write some API names. Okay, but when we do advanced query, then we will have to either use this or obviously this is also like a good way. We can also do the SOQL query directly in the VS Code, so that is also a good tool to do. Okay. See,
हम्म.
there are advanced ways of doing that. It's I mean, obviously we'll be doing that, but I just want to make sure that people should not feel that this is way too advanced for them. So they should go from the bottom level and then they should build on top of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. One more thing with the, I mean, this Salesforce inspector, na, sometime what happen, Mohit, na, like if we have a, I mean, where, I mean, in record is in like 40 lakh, 50 lakh, 80 lakh, 90 lakh. So it is a crash actually. So,
See, obviously, it's an external tool and it has its own limitations. So there are people who use Inspector to upload data as well. Okay, but
yeah.
I do not recommend doing any such thing with Inspector. It's not a Salesforce tool. It's an external tool not supported by Salesforce. So do not rely much on that. Okay. Just
Okay.
that take help from it, but do not upload data with its help. Or sometimes if it is limited data, you can export and do that, but do not rely much on it because it is not a Salesforce tool. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. Okay. Cool. We can also use Workbench, and I will show you the Workbench in one of the sessions. So Workbench is also a very good tool, but again, that is also not a Salesforce tool, but that is more widely available. And we use that also a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
This was
One
the,
more thing. Last question,
yeah, yeah,
Mohit.
sure.
Sorry.
Arul. Go ahead, go ahead. No worries.
So,
It's okay.
ye,
This,
somewhere I found that like a tooling API is also there for the query point of views. From here, like we seen the different approach using the tooling API. What is this exactly? It is
see, whenever we'll have to query the metadata. Okay, let's say you want to query the page layout.
okay.
Okay, now page layouts are not data. They are the metadata on which your data is built. Or let's say you want to query profiles. Profiles again is not data. Profile is a metadata. Whenever you will have to query the metadata, then you will use the tooling API. So for example, let's say if I show you select ID from, let's say, profiles. Okay. Now if I execute, we will be able to find. Now let's say if I try to use the page layout to query a custom label. Okay. So if I query a page layout, I will get an error. If I use the tooling API, something, let me just, okay, Chris is saying if we search the custom labels, just a second. Hmm. Go to query via tooling API. Let's find it. Show you the real example. When to use tooling API. Retrieve the metadata about an object's field. Retrieve custom and standard object properties. Okay. Go back. Let me try to query the Apex class. Okay. We are able to find everything even without tooling API. That is strange. What you want me to query, guys? Any metadata, custom settings? Okay, I will come on this with example, guys. Let me okay. I'm trying to let me try to find something like this. Aggregate use field aliasing. Okay, where we are doing aliasing. Use flow and reviews, it works. But yeah, I can do that, but why it is working even without the tooling API? That is my question. Yes. Okay. Yeah, okay. Krish has shared this query where we are searching external string. What is this external string, Krish? We are not able to search it via normal query, but when we do it via tooling API, we are able to do it. This is, I think, custom label. Okay. Yeah, these are custom labels. So we use tooling APIs to fetch the metadata or the query about metadata. And I will check, see, because custom objects are also metadata. When we want to fetch something related to custom objects, then that also comes in the metadata. So I need to check why we are able to fetch that even without the SOC, without the tooling API, like this case, like so. This should also come in the same. but we are able to fetch it. Yeah, Prashant, you have any question here? You raised your hand.
Yes, Mohit. So that negation part, right, not equal to anything. I mean, so usually we get a sonar cube error for that, like negation is not allowed. Why is the reason? Like, is it decreasing the performance or
Sorry,
so
I did not get it. Not equals to?
not equals to like building city you added, right?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Instead of not equal to that logical operator, uh,
Mm-hmm.
is it affecting on the performance? Like instead of that, if we can use in or something.
Yeah. Okay, I will show you that. What happens is that when we build the static queries and directly put something not equals to or that, there are chances that our query might break. So we will talk about when we should use the bind variables and in operator rather than directly statically putting not equals to and then hard coded thing. Because when we will check the SOQL injections and all, we will see that why to use bind variables versus why to use the static not equals to or equals to for that matter of fact. Where when we will have a static queries based on a hard-coded text input, then there are chances that our query might break if somebody tries to break it by putting a wrong input. Okay, so we will see that. Performance wise also and security wise also, we have to use bind variables and we will have to use the in operator or binding variables rather than static variables in our SOQL queries. We will see that. I will show you that with the SOQL queries. Okay, guys, I will see that what comes in the metadata, what comes in the tooling API, what does not come in the tooling API, what we will be able to fetch without tooling API, and what we cannot fetch without tooling API. Okay, don't worry about it.
So one more question I have, Mohit,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Yeah.
So that also I heard about the indexed fields and all, right? So like what are exactly those? I
Yeah,
mean,
indexed.
kind
Yeah, indexed field. I will show you that. Just give me some time on this. I just don't want to cover everything in that order. I will show you. Index field are very important from the SOQL query and indexing purpose. Okay. Okay, let us first cover couple of clauses. Like we have covered the basic clause, select and from and where, but there are a couple of more clauses. Let's cover that. And then the advanced part, which we are saying like SOQL injection or dynamic SOQL queries or indexing, we will talk about later. Those are a bit advanced topic. For that, we'll have to have understanding of basic things as well. Okay. I know there are a couple of questions you guys have directly, but let us go with the order. If you see, I have written SOQL injection here. You are able to see my PPT screen, right?
Yes, Mohit.
So this SOQL injection is very important, and there are a lot of questions we get in SOQL injections. Here I will practically show you how it works and when to use binding variables, how binding variable helps us avoiding SOQL injections and all. So don't worry. Okay. We will also cover what is dynamic SOQL. So whenever we build a SOQL query based on some input from the user, and this is we are going to do a lot. We'll have Lightning Web Component. Based on that, we will ask user to put some input. And then based on that input, we will be doing the query in the backend, right? So that is dynamic SOQL query, and we will see the difference. But let us go with the order. Let us cover a couple of clauses as well. Okay. That is why I said that SOQL queries will take two sessions, one basic session and one advanced session where we will be talking about aggregate queries and couple of advanced topic, dynamic SOQL and in SOQL injections. So let's cover the basics today. Okay. We have covered three, select from and where. We have couple of other things like group by clause, like having clause, like order by clause, limit clause, and offset clause. We'll start with the easiest and we will cover each one by one. Okay, so the easiest one is limit clause. If we want to limit the number of records we should get as a SOQL query, then we can limit. So let's say if we are getting the select ID comma name from account, we are getting 18 accounts and we just want to limit we just want to see the 10 records, then we'll have to put limit and then the number. Okay, limit and just the number. So if I show you my Salesforce screen and we do the SOQL query, again, select ID, name from account, we will get 18 records. But let's say I just want to get the 10 records. So we will write limit 10 and we will be seeing only 10 records. Okay. If I do not do that, then we will be getting 18. But the difference you are saying is that it will display top 10. Okay. If I put the limit 10, couple of bottom 8 records will be removed. Right. So by default, it will see, currently there is no order. We have not ordered these record with any specific orders. Okay. So it will remove the bottom 8 because if there are total 10, so it will display top 10. That's it. Now, this is just the limit class. Then we have group by or order by. We can say order by. Let's see order by. Order by name and search it. Now you can see that these are ordered in the ascending order, like B and D and E. So by default, it will be ordered in this manner. You can also write ascending or descending after that. So by default, it was ascending. Even if you put ascending, it will put ascending. But if you want to put descending, then you can do it like this. And then it will reverse the order. So order by clause is basically to order those records you are getting in the SOQL queries. Okay. And this is, and it is not the only way to do that. Like it is not like you can only name it. You can use name field to order it. You can use any field to order it. Okay. So try to do these things on your own as well. I'm just showing you one example. Try to do is, yep, there is offset. See, that is keyword. If I show you the PPT, then you can see after clauses, we have couple of aggregate functions, and then aggregate functions, we have bind variables. Offset we have here only, right? This is the offset clause. So we will cover offset as part of clauses. Then we will cover aggregate functions. These aggregate functions will help us a lot in the triggers, specifically when we build that uh, roll up summary triggers, then this aggregate function count will help us a lot. So that is something we'll have to check. Then we have so-called for loop. Then we have SOSL queries, difference between SOQL, SOSL. That's the only theoretical question from this topic, the difference between SOQL and SOSL. Okay, so we will do offset as well. Don't worry. Okay, so this was order by clause. Okay, and then we have, let's say, offset. Okay, now let us talk about offset. What happens is that, let's say we are getting 18 records. Okay, and you want to see offset 10. If I write offset 10, then it will remove initial 10 records. Okay, it will display only the records after the 10 records. Okay, so this is very helpful. This keyword, or you can say this clause, is very helpful when you get a requirement where you'll have to display, let's say, display the, let's say, not the initial 10 records, but let's say after after the you must have built that pagination mechanism, right? In the pagination we use offset a lot, so we will display 10. When we go next, we put the offset as 10, so it will display next 10 record. When we go to the next page, we put offset as next 10, so that it will display next 10 record. So with the help of offset, we will be able to move into the next 10 records. So offset will remove the initial 10 records. You in the interview point of view, you might have get the question, so show me the number of, or show me the accounts. uh, let's say today 20 accounts was created. I want to see the bottom 10 accounts. Let's say today 20 accounts were created, and I want to see the latest 10 or bottom 10 records which was created by us. So we can use offset to display that. Okay. In the interview, you get questions like, okay, I can you write a SOQL query to show me the accounts. Let's say 20 accounts was created, show me the accounts which was created, let's say bottom 10, or don't display me top two accounts, or don't display me the latest two account, but display me the remaining 18 accounts. So in that case, you will write offset as 2. So in that case, it will remove the top two accounts and it will display the remaining 18 accounts. So something like that you get in interview questions a lot. It's not like if we are using offset, then we will not use other keywords. We can also use other clauses as well. So combining multiple clauses makes a SOQL query, and sometimes we get combinations of these clauses question in a interview. Does order of record is same all the time when we do SOQL query? I think, see, we can use order by clause to create the order. So in that case, we can use order by, let's say, created date descending. So we can combine couple of other clauses together to build a SOQL query which they want. Okay. So let's say if we are getting this is the, let's say, created date also we put here. Okay, now created date is, so by this, what we are saying is that order all the accounts based on created date. So on the top, you are getting the latest created account, and on the bottom, you are getting the oldest created account. Okay. So now if you have to get the, let's say, the first two account created in the if I, let's say, interviewer ask you, can you write down a SOQL query to find the first two accounts created in this org? How you gonna do that? First two account. Okay. So if you write down it like this, select ID, comma name, comma created date from account, order by created date descending. By this, you will be able to find all the accounts. Now, first two accounts are the bottom two accounts. Okay. So you can also write it down as a ascending order. So in that case, the top two accounts will be the accounts which you want to find. Okay, in that case, if you write limit to, then you will be able to find the top two accounts. Okay. Also, if you want to find if he says that just remove the initial two, or you can also write it like this, descending and then offset, let's say 80, sorry, 16. So in that case, you will just get the two accounts which you wanted to see. So it depends on how you want to do that. Offset, most of the time we use when we will have to build the pagination kind of mechanism, where we will be setting offset dynamically, and based on that offset, you will have that option, how many records you want to see. Then you can select 10, 15, 50, 100. That is basically nothing but the setting limit for offset. And then based on the number you select, it will keep on showing you different new records based on the number you select. Okay, so that is nothing but the offset number you set via the option you select on screen. Okay, so offset clause is also very important. And uh, after offset, we have group by and having clause. These two clauses are very important. So let's understand group by and having first. Okay, group by is a clause where we'll have to kind of group those records based on certain things. Okay, so I will query this on the opportunity because opportunity has certain things which I can use. Select ID, comma name from opportunity, stage name. Okay, so there are various different stages and we have 34 SOQL query. If I write group by and then stage name, just a second. Give me a second, guys. Somebody is at door. Hi guys, sorry, I have to stop this. I have to go to my kids' school. So I think I'll be doing this later. Okay, we will cover this tomorrow, and then we will cover all the advanced examples as well on this. Okay. So thank you everyone. I'll have to rush to my kids' school.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mohit.
Thank you, Mohit.